What's up, guys? I am back, and in this video I want to talk about what it was like when I did psychedelic mushrooms. I've actually done it 3 times. The first time was probably like 7 or 8 years ago. This was back when I was living in Hollywood, California. And I remember the first time I did it, the reason I did it in the first place is because I started listening to a lot of YouTube videos, and there was lots of YouTubers that were talking about DMT and psilocybin mushrooms. A lot of podcasts. This is like right when the podcasts were starting to get big. It was back when like Joe Rogan's podcast was starting to get big, and he was bringing all these people on, all these researchers talking about psychedelics, and all these videos got released about people that were doing this stuff back in like the 60s. Terrence McKenna, all these YouTube videos went up about stuff. So I got curious about it. I was like, all right, fine. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna have my own experience, see what it's all about. So I took about probably around 2.5 to 3 grams on an empty stomach in my apartment in Hollywood. And the first, I'd say, hour and a half, I didn't really feel that much. It took a little while to kick in. After the hour and a half, I started to laugh. I just started having like really, really vivid memories of all the stuff that happened throughout my life. And I was just laughing like hysterically. That lasted for a while, and then it took me on a whole bunch of other kind of weird emotions and things like that. And then it began to get more intense. Like I was, like the music started to become very, very, very vibrant and clear. Like the colors became very vibrant. The music was so clear. Like what I think it happens is like somehow this stuff heightens your sensory perception. Like it literally heightens your sense of smell, your hearing, your eyesight. Everything becomes very, very heightened. And so I'm listening to music, going through all these emotions, laughing. It was pretty positive, very upbeat the whole time, for most of the time anyways. And then it started to get really intense to where I started to see visuals, like the walls started moving like waves. And at first it was just kind of slow, and then it started to get faster, and it started to get faster. And then I started hearing all these beeping noises, like 3-dimensional beeping noises just going off all around my head. So some of them sounded like they were really far away, some of them sounded like they were right up next to my ear. And as that was happening, the walls began to move like waves, faster and faster and faster, and it looked like they were turning to liquid, just moving in waves really, really fast. And I'm looking around, seeing all this shit. I'm hearing all these crazy beeping noises going around, and like I was just like, holy shit, this is freaking intense. And I remember just like jumping in the bed and like pulling the blankets over and just like listening to the music and just kind of waiting for it to ride out, because it was like really, really freaky intense. Like seeing the walls literally turn to liquid, and then all these crazy noises going on around me. And then after that whole intense episode of like the walls turning to liquid and all the beeping noises, it kind of faded away. And then I was just like back to normal. That whole thing took about, I'd say, like from the time it kicked in to the time it ended, it was a good like 3-hour to 4-hour experience. Lots and lots of laughing at first, lots of like good energy at first. And then it got really freaky at the end. So that was the first time I did it. And the second time I did it, it was when we were up in the mountains. We were actually up in the Ortega Mountains in Southern California. And this time, I think I may have taken a little bit less. I think I probably took around like 2 to 2.5 grams. And this one, so we're walking through all these trails, and I feel it a little bit. It starts to kick in, everything's, all the colors are getting really bright, just like it normally does. And we're walking around. It started to get like, everything got really, really bright, and like the sky got brighter. And then all of a sudden I started seeing like little geometric shapes and patterns. I started seeing intelligent design, like a kaleidoscope in the sky. So the sky started turning into like this kaleidoscope sort of thing. And now I'm starting to like kind of lose track of where I am or what trail I came from, because everything is just getting really, really vibrant and the sky is all trippy. And I was looking around, it's like, shit, like if I tried to get back right now, like I would not be able to figure out where I am. Like I don't even know where the fuck I am. I mean, I had a couple friends there, so it was like not a big deal, but so I'm sitting there, I'm like looking up at the sky, and everything is just going crazy like a kaleidoscope. The same geometric shapes and the same geometry that you would see in nature, you know, triangles, hexagrams. You start seeing things like the flower of life. You see proportion and architecture in all this stuff. And then so I kind of, I'm just looking, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of just trying to, I started to really just zone out, like looking at the sky. So I kind of like snapped out of it. We start walking around some more. And then, so we sit up on top of this big peak, and we're kind of just looking out over everything. And it was just like a really euphoric experience. It felt like being on ecstasy. I don't know if you've ever done ecstasy or MDMA, but it felt like the whole last half of the trip felt like I was just on ecstasy, just like sitting there, like looking out over this mountain with this, you know, with this beautiful sunset with Southern California in the background and everything. That was the second time. The third time, we did it here in Las Vegas. I'm actually in Las Vegas right now. We went to this place called Valley of Fire. It's a state park with these crazy rock structures and petroglyphs and crazy stuff out there. So there was a meteor shower that night. So some of my friends thought it'd be a good idea to go and do magic mushrooms in Valley of Fire while watching a meteor shower. So we drive out there, and this time I actually didn't fast. And it actually made me like kind of sick to my stomach and nauseous through like the first half of the trip. So definitely I recommend do it completely on an empty stomach. In fact, if you're gonna do it, don't eat for like 4 or 5 or 6 hours at least. But yeah, the first half of the trip, you know, we're walking around Valley of Fire, and I'm starting to see the geometry, everything's starting to get all disproportionate. Well, I mean, not disproportionate, that's not the word I was looking for. My depth perception started to get really out of whack, and then I started seeing all the crazy geometry everywhere. So, and you know, I'm trying to climb this giant freaking rock in Valley of Fire. Like, I'll show you a picture of it. Valley of Fire has all these crazy rock structures that you can climb up. And so we're climbing these rocks, and like my depth perception is starting to get a little off. I'm seeing all this crazy geometry. Then the whole time I'm coming up, I'm feeling like really nauseous the whole time. And then we get to the top, and so I'm looking up at all these stars, and they're all like moving around. So I couldn't even tell if it was a star or some weird thing flying around. Like I did this, all the stars are just moving around, and there's meteors. There's a meteor shower, so there's meteors shooting across here and there. And there was one star that seriously got like really, it looked like it just got really right up close to us, and it started like moving, like everything was moving in the sky. And so we're just sitting there like having this weird experience, watching this meteor shower, and then I started getting these really in-depth like memories of doing my online business and like responding to people through the internet. And I remember like a lot of people would like come at me and say shit and try to like troll me and talk shit, and sometimes I would like respond negatively to all these people, and it really put that into a whole perspective, and it showed me that it was not worth it. It wasn't worth the energy to reply negatively to people, even if they came at you with negative energy. And it really put that like into a perspective, and like I feel like that's what it wanted to show me. Like I think that like when you take this stuff, when you take psychedelic mushrooms, it's like a teacher. Like it teaches you things, and it shows you different areas of your life from new perspectives so that you can learn from it. So that was like the experience I had. Like every other times too when I've done it, like it would show me different things in life too. Like I would have these like really vivid memories of like maybe like a house I used to live in or a place I used to hang out, and it would show me them from different perspectives. Like that too happened when I was in Southern California, when I was up on the mountains. But as I was kind of looking over Southern California, and that too, I had lots of vivid memories of different things that I had done in California, and it would show you different perspectives of things. And sometimes it shows you something from a very negative perspective, and I think the reason is because it wants you to like learn from that experience, if that makes sense. So that's like that's how I felt. That's how I feel when I do these things. I think they're like a teacher, and when you do it, I think it's best to do it in like a setting where you're just relaxed and you don't have to deal with a bunch of stuff going on around you. I think I don't see it like a party drug. I see it more like a meditative kind of drug. Like you do it and then you're gonna just meditate and just kind of like let the information flow in, like get the data download and just see what it shows you. All right, that is it for now. Hope you guys like my video. I know one more thing I wanted to say too before I end this. I know a lot of people that do these mushrooms and a lot of these people that vlog about mushrooms say that 5 grams is the quote-unquote effective dose. I've never done that much, but if you think I should try a 5 gram dose on an empty stomach and then vlog about it, let me know in the comments. All right, see you guys later.